call to order the regular city commission meeting for October 19th, 2021 at 7 p.m. And please have roll call.
Commissioner Grossi?
Here.
Commissioner Hudak?
Here.
Commissioner Parnes?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Preston?
Here.
Mayor Gans?
Yes, if we could please have a moment of silence and then our pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could have approval of the special city commission meeting minutes from August 24th, 2021.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion is second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Commissioner Preston, our Vice Mayor, can you hear us?
I can.
Okay, no problem. Acknowledgement of received board meeting minutes for the community appearance board meeting of August 11th, 2021. The firefighters pension fund meeting minutes from March 29th to July 12th, 2021.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, approval of the agenda for October 19th, 2021.
Motion to approve.
Yes, City Manager.
Thank you. If we could, at staff request, if we could have a poll of item number 8 and table that.
For the motion and the second that we have, is it amended to exclude item number 8?
Motion to approve.
Well, we have one already. I think you made it. Are you okay to go
Yes.
amended?
Amended, yes.
Vice Mayor, are you okay with the second on that, the amendment?
Yes, except I have an abbreviated version. What is item 8?
Item number 8 is the item regarding the land development regulations regarding open space on the beach, the umbrella setups.
Okay.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Passes unanimously. Madam Clerk.
For those attending via Zoom, online, wishing to speak under public comment or on an item that's open for public input, please click raise hand at the bottom of the participants tab and your audio will be unmuted and you're recognized by Mayor Diaz. For those attending via Zoom by telephone, please press *9 to raise your hand and your audio will be unmuted when you're recognized by Mayor Diaz. Please make sure your audio is unmuted on your end by pressing *6. Thank you.
Thank you. Our very first item is acknowledgement of a very special student who's here. Our certificate of recognition we presented to Melissa Tashi. Did I have it right? Did I say it right? Melissa Tashi? Okay. For being nominated by the Deerfield Beach Education Advisory Board, the City of Deerfield Beach Student Scholar of the Month Award for the month of October 2021. Melissa is a 4th grade student at Deerfield Park Elementary School, and she frequently finds her name, from what I've been told, on the honor roll list. Melissa is active at Deerfield Park Elementary School campus, participating in various activities such as school visual and performing arts program. Melissa is no stranger to awards. Her list of academic awards includes Certificate of Achievement, Student of the Month, Academic Excellence Award, Reclaim and Evaluate Awards, the BUG Awards, the Social Growth Awards, and now the City of Deerfield Beach Student Scholar of the Month Award for the month of October. Melissa, in her spare time, enjoys art and animation, and she's here with her parents and I believe her brother. And we want to congratulate you. The City of Deerfield Beach applauds you for your hard work in the classroom. You've been nominated by the City of Deerfield Beach Student Scholar of the Month for October 2021, which reflects dedication and hard work. We wish you the best and continue the great work that you're doing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The next item we have on our agenda is also a proclamation. Whereas the city government the city government is the government closest to most citizens and the one with the most direct daily impact upon its residents. Whereas municipal government provides services and programs that enhance the quality of life of residents, making their city their home. And city government is administered for and by its citizens. It is dependent upon public commitment to and understanding of its many responsibilities. City government officials and employees share the responsibility of passing along the understanding of public service and their benefits. Florida City Government Week offers an important opportunity for elected officials and city staff to spread the word to all citizens of Florida that they can shape and influence this branch of government. The Florida League of Cities and its member cities have joined together to teach citizens about municipal government through the variety of activities. Therefore, I, Bill Gans, Mayor of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim October 18th through the 24th, 2021, as the Florida City Government Week, sponsored by the Florida League of Cities. Thank you so much, Florida League of Cities, for all you do. Our next item, and I have the honors. I know this was sponsored by Commissioner Hudak. Did you want to make a comment before I present this?
I did. I don't know if I have to put the reading in or not, or if I just begin speaking. So I guess I'll start speaking. So this is a certificate of appreciation to present to Claude DeBose. Claude is the general manager for our Wyndham in Deerfield Beach for his dedication and support of Deerfield Beach community and continuing to build and foster the relationships with our residents. There are a lot of things that the Wyndham itself does. And as most of you know, what's important to the leader is what's important to the organization. Not only has the Wyndham sponsored food drives and Santa on the Sand and hosting the chamber on a monthly basis for their breakfast, as well as the back to school event this past summer. A thing was brought to my attention that just shows me how involved in the community not only the Wyndham is, but its general manager, Claude, is. At the end of August, two of our outstanding deputies were informed that there was a grandmother, a mother, and two daughters who had been evicted from their home due to foreclosure, and they were actually living in a vehicle. The BSO officers were able to find the family a place to live. But as a wise man once said, you know, give a person a fish and they eat for a day, teach them how to fish and they eat for the rest of their lives. So not only did these fine officers of BSO find a place for this family to live short term, but they also approached the Wyndham to see if they had any opportunities available for the mother who had some tremendous skills. And Claude stepped up to the plate. After an extensive interview process, they actually hired the mother and gave them an opportunity to get back on their feet. That's something that to me is above and beyond the call of duty. And it just shows me how much this organization and this general manager care about our organization. And my hat's off to Claude. And I just want to thank you for being there for our citizens, as well as our guests when they arrive in our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. To let everyone know, this fantastic partnership that we have is a great community partner with Wyndham, but Claude always goes above and beyond. So this certificate for you, Claude, is for your dedication and support to the Deerfield Beach community, continuing to build and foster relationships with the residents within the city. We thank you so much for your contribution and for having a caring and wonderful heart. So thank you so much.
I want to thank, Commissioner Hudak and all of you here, and David Santucci as well for everything he does for the city. But Evelyn Gomez and Joe are absolutely amazing under your leadership, Captain. And I really appreciate your involvement. And for us, being part of the community is extremely important. Without the community, we would not be here. But without those two, that situation with this young lady and her family would not have happened. So thank you very much. And I want to thank the owners as well who are probably watching today, because everything we do is on their behalf.
Thank you so much, Claude. Really appreciate it. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Claude. Really appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor, Anthony Soroka, City Attorney. For the record, item number 4 tonight is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 46, Offenses, Section 46-9, defacing or damaging property of another of the City Code of Ordinances to update the regulations and provide for use of the abatement process to address violations, providing for codification, severability, conflicts, and an effective date. This is second reading.
Is there anyone from the public that care to comment on this item for the second reading? Item number 4. Is anyone written in, Madam Clerk? No, and not seeing anyone in here or online. I'm going to close it to the public. Commission. Go ahead, Commissioner Parnas.
It seems to me that when you damage somebody else's property.
You might want to turn your mic on.
Okay, I'll move it up. Can you hear
Thank
me
you.
now? Is it on? Am I muted?
Nope, you should be on.
I'm on. Isn't this a criminal offense? When you ruin somebody else's property, you take it. Isn't this a criminal offense?
I can answer that. It can be, depending on the nature of the offense. But what this ordinance is in part at least doing is providing for a mechanism to correct the damage or the defacement in a timely manner, and for the ability to take steps to go ahead and abate the damage in a timely manner and provide for the funds to do so.
Okay.
Okay. Is that a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Parnas, seconded by Commissioner Hudak. All in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Okay, passes unanimously.
We're now at public comment. Persons addressing the commission shall state his or her name and address and may speak for 3 minutes unless extended for 1 additional minute by the mayor. This is the time for public comment on items that are not on the agenda. If you have a public comment on an item that is on the agenda, the time to do that is when the public comment is open for that agenda item. And as a reminder, no comment shall be made related to the personal life or personal qualities of any person, and no language which could offend persons of ordinary sensibility shall be permitted.
Thank you. Is there anyone from the public who would like to come up and speak? Yes, sir. Just your name and address for the record, please.
Dennis Wise, 619 Mill Street, actually Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm here representing over 100 families, local families. And I want to thank you, Mayor Gans, and members of the commission for providing me this opportunity to speak tonight. You all should have a packet of information dropped off. I think that over the course of time since the later part of March, you may have seen some of this information. I've been in touch with city officials since that time in and out, but tonight was just a pure kind of good news update, and that is that we are ready to launch our service for the local residents. So let me tell you what Recyclops is. It is an environmental firm that provides recycling, at-home recycling pickup service. So, we work with folks that don't have the ability to recycle from their homes, or real environmentally kind of minded folks that want to make sure that their materials are getting recycled. So our firm guarantees that all collected materials get recycled. So what happens is people come to our website and they log on and they request our services. We investigate what is happening in that location. And that's when I reached out to city officials to see what was going on here. And we just had an overwhelming kind of response, not only from folks in Deerfield Beach, but also Coconut Creek, Coral Springs, Margate, of folks, environmentally kind of minded folks that want to make sure that the materials get recycled. So we will actually kick this service off, and it's a very simple service. It's a little unique because we utilize an Uber kind of technique, meaning we don't have $400,000 mug-a-ton trucks rolling up and down, tearing up your streets. We actually hire local gig economy employees. Well, many of them are actually Uber drivers. They use their own vehicle and they pick up materials at folks in garages, doorsteps, things like that. It's very simple. It's $12 per month. It's every other week pickup. Some months it's 2 times a month. Sometimes it's 3 times a month. And we pick up everything, including glass. I will tell you that the Broward County communities are actually the first to launch in Florida. We have Deltona coming up at the end of the month. The second week of November. We also are helping out the situation in Jacksonville right now. I don't know if you've seen that in the news, but they're in kind of a crisis right now. So I don't know how long we'll be operating in Jacksonville. It could be 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, however long it takes the city to get their program back on track. You all have my contact information on there, so if you have any questions or would like to have additional information, I will also send you all of this stuff electronically again. And I think I sent it to the commission email address, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Thank you very much. I do have a question for you.
Yes.
Who are you working with locally here? What cities are you partnered with right now?
So this is the launch right
First
now.
one.
So Deerfield, Coral Springs, Coconut Creek, and now Margate. Margate was a recent addition.
Okay.
Because they just, there's been a lot of changes in programs over the last 2 years in terms of what can be collected, where it's going, and things like that, which has kind of precipitated, folks coming to our website and wanting this service.
I've received your information in the past. I have tried to set up, I know staff has corresponded back and forth with questions that have not been answered. So if you could get with our staff, I'd love to get more information. We'd like to find out more about the program. There seems to be some kind of a communication gap. We haven't got some of the questions answered.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that gap is, but
That sounds great. Thank you, sir.
thank you so much.
Is there anyone else from the public who would care to comment? Amy Day?
Amy K. Tanner, 111 Southeast Fifth Avenue, Oak Tanner Way, Deerfield Beach, Florida. That wasn't officially on the agenda, so, because I came to say something about recycling.
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay, in my car, I have a tall kitchen trash can bag full of recyclable materials, plastic, glass, and metal. It has all been washed with hot soapy water, and it has no contamination at all. And my husband and I, 2 people in one home, we have taken 20 bags to the recycle center that we have over here. I do want to say that Fred, Joe, what a prize. He's there, he encourages everybody. He's a real prize. anyway, I hope that we can find some way to deal with this, if we pay for it now or we pay for it later. We cannot continue to put this material that will not break down. Mount Trashmore is going to be over soon. I mean, soon, in relationship to life. But my grandchildren, your grandchildren, they're going to have a terrible problem. And if we have to pay a little more now, or if we have to pay to truck it East Jerusalem, we have a real problem with recycling. And I think the public is encouraged more, and we have some sort of wake-up program. It's so easy to do. It's not hard. It doesn't cost anything. It's almost kind of like a game. You know, how much can you keep out of the landfill? I hope that we can think about this with all the people we have working. Maybe we can get somebody to look into that. I know there's a lot of other problems and everything, but that's a real problem that we're gonna have to deal with now or later. So that's what I wanted to mention, and tell you what a prize Joe is. He really is. We see him, we go about every 6 weeks and take 6 or 8 tall kitchen trash can back, cram and jam and full, because Frank doesn't have waste any room. And it's very fulfilling. It feels like, you know, we did something for this town where I was born, and willing I'll die here. So we really need to do something. Thank you.
Thank you, MK, appreciate it. Is there anyone else from the public?
Congratulations on your event Saturday.
Oh, thank you. Is there anyone else from the public care to comment? I'm gonna go ahead and close it to the public then. Commissioner Parnas, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, this is not a commercial for Target, but I happen to shop there. They have bins on the, after you pay, glass, hangers, paper, plastic, and other things in enclosed containers. If you're going to shop there and you want to contribute to recyclables, bring a plastic bag with it. They have a bin for plastic bags, so you can drop it in the proper bin and then get rid of your plastic bag. So they are a good neighbor in trying to help recycle. So they set it up in the store on Powerline and Hillsborough. So if you're really a enthusiast of recycling and you do shop there, bring some recyclables with you. They're happy to take them.
Thank you, Commissioner. Obviously, it's a global problem. Recycling issue is certainly something we're constantly looking at because we want to bring the program back. It's just not a feasible project at this point. But certainly, it's not something we've let go of because it's under constant analysis to figure out how we can bring it back. Next item, City Attorney.
Next item on the agenda is consent board appointment, but there's one item underneath it. So I'm going to go ahead and read the title. Item number 5 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, appointing Dorothy Clout as a regular member to the Deerfield Beach Education Advisory Board to fill an unexpired term, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. I sponsored this. This is my appointment. Ms. Cloud, her husband serves currently on our planning and zoning board. Has been there for a very long time. She's a background in education. I think she's a great addition.
Motion to approve.
Is there anyone from the public who care to comment on this item? We close it to the public. Commission, did you, Commissioner Hudak?
Motion to approve.
Second,
Motion by Commissioner Hudak, second by Commissioner Parkiness. Thank you both. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Those opposed? Okay, passes unanimously.
Okay, we are now at consent agreements and expenditure requests. There's one item in this section. Item number 6, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, approving an amendment to the maintenance memorandum of agreement with the Florida Department of Transportation for the maintenance of rectangular rapid flashing beacon signs on a portion of State Road A1A at the crosswalks located at Southeast 10th Street, Southeast 6th Street, and Southeast 4th Street, authorizing execution of the amendment, providing for implementation and an effective date.
Thank you. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, David Santucci, City Manager. I do just want to point out, pretty obvious in the title here, but we want to point out to you, Mayor, that it seems almost maybe probably about 18 months ago, maybe longer, you had pointed out to me that that crosswalks along these actual streets across A1A would be a great idea for us to explore. We took advantage of that recommendation when we were presented by FDOT with this project, and we were able to get those worked into the scope of the project. So these are the crosswalks at these various streets to include Southwest 10th Street, which I think was the one in particular that you had mentioned. So this will be a great addition for pedestrian safety on A1A.
Excellent, thank you. Is there anyone from the public here to comment on this item? Not seeing any, I'm going to close it to the public. Commission?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Parnas, seconded by Vice Mayor Preston. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Drosky,
Yes.
Commissioner Hudak,
Yes.
Commissioner Parnas,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Preston,
Yes.
Mayor Dan.
Yes.
Item number 7 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, amending the 2021-2022 schedule of City Commission meetings, providing for implementation and an effective date.
Is there anyone from the public here to comment on this item? Not seeing any, I'll close it to the public. Commission?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Parnas, second by Vice Mayor Preston. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, passes unanimously.
Okay, item number 8 was removed. Item number 9 is a presentation regarding the proposed design for B Tactical Pilot Project on Northeast 3rd Ave.
Number 9 and 10. That's fine. And Commission, items 9 and 10 are very, although they're separate items, they are related. So if we can have staff present for both 9 and 10, that would be my request.
I have no problem with that. Commission, we okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, let me go ahead and read in the title for item number 10. Item number 10 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, authorizing submission of the Cycle 6 Complete Streets and Other Localized Incentives Program application to the Broward Metropolitan Planning Organization for the Northeast 3rd Avenue Safety and Mobility Improvements Project. Supporting the project as a local agency program project, committing to funding the construction contingency and upfront costs for design, construction, and construction engineering and inspection services for the project, subject to reimbursement under the local agency program, providing for implementation and an effective date.
All right, good evening. Eric Power, Director of Planning and Development Services here tonight. Next slide. So just a little history about what we're doing here tonight. The Broward MPO created a new grant program. It's called B Tactical Urbanism. The B is for Broward. Tactical Urbanism is a type of planning application to allow for short-term measures to make quick fixes for things that then later on will have some more permanent applications. So they were able to provide a new grant. Started last year. We actually won the grant. We were the first city or the first recipient of this particular grant in Broward County. So it was very exciting. Move the next slide. And essentially what we did was we looked at the application for what is considered Northeast 3rd Street, which starts at the city border at Sample Road and goes north to 48. So just where the hospital district is. And in partnership with the MPO in Broward County on how we can best improve this particular roadway, we held 2 in-person meetings, a virtual meeting with local residents. We have another meeting coming up November 6th. We engaged all the local public schools, local churches, local businesses, including the hospital. So we had great participation. I know some of the commissioners shared some of the meetings. Really some fantastic participation with some residents and part of the city that we don't typically get to see or have activated. So it was well received. In addition, the project also received a monetary grant from ARP for $20,000. Next slide, please. So essentially, what is it that we're doing, or what are we trying to do? This is just one of the cut sheets. Essentially, this is the temporary improvements, and what you'll see here in the sort of darker brown area is actual roadway that will be painted. You'll see there are going to be little things you'll see like on 95, little barriers, little plastic barriers that would stop someone from basically driving on the street. And then of course see the bike path and some decorative crosswalks. You can just go to the next, just put it one more time. And then here you'll see what is probably one of the biggest improvements that we're actually trying to make is an improvement to the intersection at what is 44th Street. And this is something that we have noticed even when we went out and walked and saw the area, that this is something that needs some correction. Unfortunately, we get people who speed and run these lights. You know, we actually just recently did the marker testing for this last week. Or actually, I'm sorry, it was September that we did it, and we had a recording of someone going 99 miles an hour on the street. Cool. The average, or the actual speed for this road is 30 miles an hour. The average was 44.7. So people speed on this road and people miss these intersections. And we have, of course, children who are crossing the street to go to school, people who need to walk, back and forth in the area. So the improvement to intersections like this are very important. You go to the next slide. And then just another intersection that we have, you can see the decorative crosswalks. These crosswalks themselves are placeholders. We're actually looking at decorative designs that would be more indicative to Clearfield Beach. This is just for the particular plan. And this is all just paint and temporary features. One more slide. So just an example of what's actually going to be happening. So for about a week, we will be doing construction. Broward County has offered to do a lot of the work for us, which is fantastic. But we are going to be doing a community build day. And you'll be seeing volunteers going out, spraying for markers, doing outlines, bluing, striping. One more slide. And other types of events. This is a community activity, that will hopefully garner some buy-in from those residents who recognize that the intention here is to try to slow down some of this pass-through traffic. And if you just go one more slide for me. So our final residential meeting will be on Saturday, November 6th at 9 a.m. We'll be going over the final details with the neighbors. We did do a mailing of over 1,300 homes in the area, and of course have the email list from previous meetings to invite everyone again, but those are the final design presentations. And our proposed community build day will be Saturday, December 11th, 2, where we'll be seeking volunteers from the city and the community to come out and do the things that you just saw on that event. So as I said, this was a grant that we received from Broward County. We got some additional money from the ARP, which is wonderful. A lot of this is just volunteer work. It's temporary work. What the intention of all this is actually something Priscilla's going to talk about in just a moment. But if you have any particular questions about this grant and or the build day, I'd be happy to. And I would love to bring up Priscilla. So done.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So tonight I just wanted to present briefly on what would be construed as the permanent improvements. Tonight Eric was talking to you about the Be Tactful program, and that's for us to experience what this corridor could be if it were changed to be a little more pedestrian friendly, bicycle friendly, in order to traffic calm. So that's the ultimate goal of this project, is to try to calm the traffic. As Eric indicated, we did do a study very recently, did the traffic volumes and speeds, and the statistics were pretty astounding. If you looked at the weekly report last week, we provided a little snippet of what came from that study. So Broward County does offer some grant programs. One of them that we think is optimal for this program is the C-SLIP program. And this provides funding for local transportation projects that improve safety and mobility. So Northeast 3rd Avenue, these traffic calming improvements really falls into that category. The B Tactical Urbanism Grant, as we discussed, is only temporary. While we intend to maintain those temporary improvements for the study period, the intent will be ultimately to make those improvements permanent. So this is the vehicle by which we would do that. We would plan for these permanent improvements on the heels of this B Tactical grant. The city commits to front fund the cost for design and construction with reimbursement through a local agency program grant agreement. Next slide. So the scope of this work, very similar to what Eric just showed, is to provide some enhanced sidewalk amenities for pedestrians, improve the ADA accessibility with those enhanced sidewalk amenities. We definitely want to focus on those intersection improvements, so specifically at Northeast 44th Street, which we know to be on our high injury network, and improve our bicycle facilities. So providing for buffered bike lanes, a little more separation from the vehicle, so that there's some a little more comfort on the road for bicyclists. Ultimately, because of the markings and the changings of the markings, we're going to want to resurface the road to be able to provide for a nice paved surface. And finally, apply the ultimate signing and pavement markings for the change typical section. Next slide. So this is the current typical section. As you can see, it's not very conducive for pedestrians and bicycles. It's a 4-lane undivided road. Basically, that inner lane in each direction functions as an inside turn lane. We have so many driveway entrances up and down Northeast 3rd Avenue that inside lane ends up just being a turning lane. So to make this a more functional corridor, we're proposing the next typical section. We can go to the next slide. So what we would convert this to is a 3-lane section where that center turn lane actually becomes a physical center turn lane. We provide 1 lane in each direction, and this way we can buffer the bike lanes and provide for some more green infrastructure. Next slide. So tonight we're here just to request that the commission approve our application for the C-SLIP project. Again, it does require a commitment from the city to front fund the design and construction, which is reimbursed through that local agency program.
I do have a question for you, Eric. So at the C-SLIP program, isn't this the program that where FDOT was making some changes in which we have to front all the design ourselves or do the design work ourselves, and reimbursement is kind of sketchy on that. This has been changed, though, and other policies on that.
It has. The MPO is now reimbursing the design as well as the construction.
Perfect.
So they were able to get that changed.
Yeah, that was my memory of it. I just want to make sure nothing else has changed, because we're dealing with some of those agencies.
Yeah, we do have to front fund, so we'll have to budget it, make sure the funds are there locally, and then we get the reimbursement.
Excellent.
Yes.
We go Commissioner Hudak first, and then that's okay.
Fine.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I have been working with staff for 2 years in order to get this road improved. And I want to commend staff first and foremost. As Eric said earlier, Deerfield Beach, this project is the very first project that Broward County has awarded, and it has awarded it to our city. So thank you, staff, very, very much for all of your hard work. I know a lot of times, you do so much stuff behind the scenes, and nobody gives you the credit that is deserved. So again, I want to thank you all for your hard work and your diligence in getting this road improved. As I said in my District 1 meeting, this is the road that is the border between District 1 and District 2. And we have touted how we are one city and not 4 separate districts. So I am so happy and so pleased to see the possible permanent improvements to this road as well. This is a very hazardous road, and it has fallen on deaf ears. Trying to get a red light at that stop sign, trying to get the stop lines to be flashing. So I am so happy to see that staff's hard work has finally come through to some fruition, and I fully support both of these programs. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Parnas.
Yeah, how many lanes are there now?
It's a 4-lane undivided corridor,
And how many lanes is gonna be when they're finished?
3 lanes.
Oh, so with more traffic growing every day, we're gonna go from 4 lanes to 3 lanes, and that's gonna improve traffic?
Yes, sir,
No.
because the inside lanes right now function as a turn lane. So effectively, they're the same thing as a 3-lane section.
Well, if it's anything like going from Dixie Highway to Federal Highway with complete streets, where there's no cutout for an emergency vehicle, a truck breaks down, an ambulance can't get through, where we went from 3 lanes to 2 in each direction, I can't support it. I think as the population grows, you can't cut lanes down and expect traffic to lessen. It's going to increase.
Functionally, and this is just, just to advise you that functionally a 4-lane section is undivided section. Without the median, the 4-lane section is the same thing as a 3-lane section. It carries the same volume of traffic. That inside lane, the inside turn lane is what's used by emergency vehicles. And then we'll have buffered bike lanes. So that buffered bike lanes also allow that extra area for the bike and that buffer, what we call that striped out area. That allows vehicles to be removed off the side of the road in order for emergency vehicles to pass. So there's plenty of room in the typical section afforded so that emergency vehicles.
Somebody's got to explain the math.
So
If there are 1,000 cars going up and down that road, and right now we have 4 lanes, and you're gonna cut it to 3 lanes. Same amount of traffic. How does it lessen the traffic? I don't understand that.
it carries the same amount of traffic.
Sorry, Eric Power. We're actually not trying to lessen the traffic. We're trying to make the lanes safer. So the intention, just like the intention of Hillsborough Boulevard, isn't necessarily to make traffic move faster from A to B. The traffic actually moves exactly the same, which is what Priscilla was trying to mention today, that the traffic itself, the counts that we take, the counts that we take on Hillsborough Boulevard, traffic itself actually moves at the same pace. But what happens is we allow for additional safety by having bike lanes and having buffers and eliminating, like we do on Hillsborough Boulevard, the suicide lanes, right, where you can cut right across. The same situations occurring here with that middle lane. So this isn't really about trying to make anyone get to A to B faster or to put more cars on the road. It's just about making things safer. That's what we're trying to do.
I will say also, is this similar, you said with the turn lanes, because that makes it more of a through lane, right? So you're not, so if you remember over by Crystal Lake, Commissioner Parnas, you know how you fought really hard and got us that right-hand turn signal or right-hand turn lane, prevented people from stopping in the road and having to wait for that car to turn rather than being able to pass straight through. This is very similar. There are similarities to that. They're having just attended a prior to the BO meeting. The actual federal government's coming down. There's a case study in Sunrise Boulevard that they did that is showing that where they actually do lane reduction, they've increased the amount of cars that go through there simply by making it a dedicated lane where people can go straight through right by Fort Lauderdale High School, as opposed to before where they would have to wait till someone made their turn or wait until they pulled into the school and waited out in that lane. Now it's a straight pass through, and the numbers are astounding to the point that they're coming in and doing a study. They're being awarded an award for that design on this. So I think this kind of, it doesn't seem logical, but it does seem logical when you look at how someone doesn't have to stop and wait for someone and can go straight through. It makes it safer. I do support it. Commissioner Parnas, did you have any more comments or questions on it?
Well, I'm only looking at when I used to come to City Hall and make a left turn when there were 3 lanes in each direction, and now there's only 2, and it does make it more difficult for me to get across getting to City Hall. And so I don't see the improvement. I see a slowdown. And on Hillsborough Boulevard, God forbid a bus breaks down and there's an ambulance behind him, he's stuck. There's no place for him to go. There are no cutouts for to move a vehicle off the road so that an ambulance or fire truck or police car can get through. And that I object to, because I think lives are at stake there. I haven't seen the improvement on Hillsborough. I don't know that there's going to be an improvement on 3rd Avenue. That's my problem. I don't see the math where you have 1,000 cars and you have 3 lanes, and you have 1,000 cars and you have 2 lanes is an improvement.
I do see a lot of bicycles using Hillsborough now, I have to say that.
Commissioner Hudak?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Commissioner Parnas, you cannot compare the two roads. First of all, 44th, this road Northwest 3rd is being used as a super highway. As Eric said earlier, you had a car clocked at 99 miles an hour going down this road. This is a school zone. This is a hospital zone. You don't need cars going 99 miles an hour on this road. Now, what happens right now, if you're on Sample Road and you turn north onto Northwest 3rd, there's 2 lanes that you turn. If an ambulance has to turn into the hospital, it has to stop in that left lane. So all of those cars back up waiting for that ambulance to turn. So there's no place for those cars to go. By making a dedicated turn lane, that ambulance is now out of the right of way, waiting to turn into the hospital road. That's an extremely important point. This road, I understand that you're looking at cars, but this is a community road. This isn't a super highway. So we're trying to make the road safer for pedestrians who cross that street in order to go to the hospital. I know of at least 2 individuals that were hit by vehicles trying to visit family members in the hospital, wound up in the hospital because they got hit by cars. This is a school zone where you've got elementary school kids riding their bicycles on this road. We don't need cars going 99 miles an hour. You've got a stop sign that you cannot see until you're right on top of it. So you've got accidents there. You also have very poor lighting there where cars are blowing through these stop signs. They're causing accidents. This is a road that is very dangerous, and it does not compare to Hillsborough Boulevard. I agree with you. What they did to Hillsborough Boulevard is a mockery, but this cannot compare to that. And I implore you to try to drive this road once, and you will see exactly what we're talking about. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go circle back to others and we'll come back. That's all right. Vice Mayor?
Yes, I actually thank Commissioner Parnas from the perspective of what he is viewing is actually accurate. I don't think anyone can say that reducing a lane or 2, you're going to have the same flow of traffic. So there are challenges there. But Commissioner, the comments of Commissioner Hudak and the mayor, plus the presentation, is basically asking us to separate from one thought process to actually safety. So this presentation that they gave us is centered around safety for our children, number 1, but then safety for our residents as well, whether they live in District 1 or whether they live in District 2. The road, which is hazardous at this point, and it has multiple challenges and presents itself in a dangerous situation. What they're trying to do is rectify that with a plan to just attack it from a perspective of safety, which we then have to decide, is that the bigger priority? And I think that it should be. So that's the issue, Commissioner. It is not a traffic study. It is not taking away lanes to take them away. We're talking about improving a situation that is presently challenging as far as safety.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Mr. Santucci?
Thank you, Mayor. The one thing that I want to make sure is known for this particular item and why it's related to item number 9, which is the presentation of the Be Tactical pilot project, is the pilot project allows us to test this. The C-slip project, Mr. Jelnick or Mr. Power, if you could tell us when it's likely that this would actually come to fruition in the C-SLIP program?
Yes, so it's programmed 5 years out. So, we would find out whether we're awarded this by next year, and it would likely be programmed in the FDOT work program 5 years from now. So,
Thank you.
2026, 2027.
Thank you. So the Be Tactical project is set to take place in early December. And that is a means to do temporary improvements to test if those measures are effective in pedestrian safety and is not does not hinder mobility as well.
To your point is the first part of it, the Be Tactical part of it. We try it out, we do an experiment, and it doesn't work. We're not moving forward with the other part. We have the option not to move forward.
That's correct. We could make amendments to the C-SLIP project to alter it as we see the performance of the Be Tactical projects.
I'm going to open it up to the public. Katie Freitag.
Everybody knows that I live just 2 blocks off of Hillsborough, and probably myself more than any single person either on the dais or in this audience, online or off. Nobody has ridden their bike on Hillsborough more than I have. I appreciate the fact I was not a fan of the way that Hillsborough was going to be changed to make way for the better streets for the better bikers, but it has made a difference. It has slowed down the traffic. Yes, there's still 1,000 cars going to the beach every single weekend. But what it's done is it has made it so that the cars are not driving 75, 80, 90 miles down Hillsborough to get to the beach. Now they are staying within the city limits, the city speed limits for that street. Now, Commissioner Parnas, you kind of shake your head, but I know that you haven't been on a bike in probably a little while. So let's leave it to those of us that are on bikes, as well as the kids that are riding their bikes to school. 1,000 cars on that same street is probably a good, accurate number of cars on that street every day. But the fact that they are driving 40 miles an hour as opposed to 90 miles an hour will save more than 1 child each year. So I definitely think it is a great program. We need to slow down the traffic on that street, both for the hospital, the schools that are all on that street, and just the residents that live there. It's either that or let's put in speed humps all the way up and down the street, which is not going to be better for the vehicles that are riding up and down it. But having this kind of a plan in place, working, let's get it moving. Let's be the guinea pig for the county. Let's show the county that we can make this work. And let's take the money that we have spent on MOP and let's use it to our advantage in our city. Otherwise, they're going to take the grant money and give it to somebody else. So let's take it, let's use it, let's make it work for us. If there are adjustments we need to make, let's make them. If there are things we don't like, let's change them, but let's make it work. We need to make some changes in that neighborhood. We need to help that neighborhood. And this is the best way to start. Let's get the lights fixed. Let's get the streets fixed. Let's slow the traffic down. Let's make it so that the residents feel safer about their streets. Let's start there. Let's make the residents feel safer about their kids riding their bikes to school or walking to school. Let's make it safer. And not only that, biggest thing, how many of those kids that are driving on that street are high school kids? They also need to learn to slow it down. And this will be the best way to make that happen. Slow down the high school teenage kids that are learning how to drive for the first time. Maybe not necessarily the best way, but this will help slow them down a little bit too. So I'm in favor of this program and I'm in favor of promoting it within the community and all over the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Gwen Clark-Reed.
Thank you, Mayor. Gwen Clark-Reed, 1430 Southwest 6th Way, Deerfield Beach. Mayor and Commissioners, this program was brought to the Education Advisory Board, and we wholeheartedly supported it. basically because we want to see something to change the roadway and the pattern in that road, and particularly because of the schools that are in that area and the children walking back and forth or riding their bicycles. So it's a temporary thing, and that has to be understood that it's not permanent. So as Ms. Fertig has said, if changes need to be made, then they will make them. If it doesn't work out, then we'll go back to what we have now and try to figure something else out. So I'm asking the commission to please look at this favorably, and let's try it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? And then close it to the public. Vice Mayor?
Yes, in any of the things that come before us, and we have a colleague that is struggling with a point or just understanding it, I think it's the obligation of this commission to help him as much as possible, or to help any colleague to understand. That doesn't necessarily mean that there will be a difference in the vote, but it ought be clear to a colleague. And I would like to ask my colleague, Commissioner Parnas, are you still struggling with something that can maybe be an enlightenment through staff or through the commission?
Commissioner Parnas?
Yes, I'm still struggling with it, but I'll support it on a temporary basis. But please understand, the hospital's in my district, and I'm there once a week at least. And going down 3rd Avenue as I did today, I find that the answer to speeders is not to overcrowd lanes so that the traffic has to slow down. Speeders are still going to be speeders. That's a traffic problem that the police have to deal with. Making the roads narrower so there's more cars on them so they can't speed, to me, is not the answer to speeding at all. I do remember in a short period of time on Green Road where it speeds at night, over 90 tickets were given out in a very short period of time. That helped. 10 years I've been fighting for a light on Green Road because people can't back out of their driveways. I just don't understand the math where the same amount of cars are going to go down 2 lanes instead of 3, or 3 lanes instead of 4, and have traffic flow. And as far as ambulances are concerned, look at it from the other end. Coming south on 3rd Avenue, you're only going to have 2 lanes instead of 3. That's going to tie up traffic, and an ambulance coming south is going to have difficulty getting into the hospital as well. I'll support the experiment, but my honest opinion, it's thrown out money. It's not going to improve traffic. It's not going to make the street safer. It's going to clog it, just like it did on Hillsborough Boulevard. But if you're all intent on trying it, okay, fine. County wants to pay for it, give us a grant to experiment, I'll support it. But my opinion is it's thrown out money.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Hudak, did you want to make a motion?
Yes, please. Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion from Commissioner Hudak, second by Vice Mayor Parnas. We have,
That's a motion
Vice Mayor
on,
Preston.
that's a motion on items 9 and 10. I don't know if
It's items 10, I think 9 is not an action item, is that correct?
Oh, okay.
That's correct, Mayor. Item 10.
Item 10. Okay, we have roll call, please.
Commissioner Drosky,
Yes.
Commissioner Hudak,
Yes.
Commissioner
A
Parnas,
reluctant yes.
Vice Mayor Preston.
Yes.
Mayor Gans.
Yes.
We are now at comments by administration and legal. I have one comment tonight. It's really a follow-up to a comment that was made at an earlier meeting, I believe a couple meetings ago. Commissioner Drosky raised the issue of a proposed bill, Senate Bill 280, that was filed in the Florida legislature for this upcoming session. And Commissioner Drosky did a good job comprehensively sort of going over that bill. But I just, I also wanted to follow up on this as well, because in addition to, and let me just recap, Senate Bill 280 as currently filed would require anytime the city adopts an ordinance, any ordinance, that we would have to prepare a business impact statement and include essentially 8 pieces of information that seems to be resource intensive to get that information to put it out there. But in addition to that, it also essentially creates a separate new cause of action to challenge an ordinance based on it being, quote, arbitrary and unreasonable. And the standards that they have in the proposed bill as written for determining arbitrary and unreasonable may not necessarily be what you think. So I'm bringing it up again. It's pretty early. We usually don't talk about bills this early in the session, but this is an important and significant one that I just wanted to bring to your attention early on, because it's my understanding that this is a priority item for the legislature. So if this is not something that you agree with, the earlier the better to address it. I will tell you, my firm is working with the League of Cities and their council as well to provide comment and input on it. And also, in addition, it provides for a challenge, so long as they meet a certain time frame requirement after the ordinance, to suspend the ordinance until it's addressed by the court. So it does have a potential significant effect on city operations, and anybody who wants to discuss it more or get any additional information, I'm happy to discuss it and talk about what the city's options are on that. So that's my comment, and I will turn it over to the mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Soroka. I have a few comments for this evening for the City Commission. One is to just notify the commission. I think you've already received this information, but there is a commuter rail station, the New River Crossing Stakeholder Workshop, that was originally going to take place, I think, at the end of October, but they've actually postponed that, I believe, until Thursday, November 18th, taking place from 6 to 8 p.m. As a potential commuter rail station to be here in Deerfield Beach, that is of interest to me to attend, because the fate of the entire project seems to hinge on the ability to get those commuter rails across the New River. Should be interesting to see what's being proposed as a solution. I believe that FDOT, as I think we've heard in this commission chambers before, was looking to do a bridge, and the city of Fort Lauderdale believes it's just as economical to do a tunnel, which should be also interesting to us, considering the great lengths we went through with Southwest 10th Street. So just to notify you that I'll be attending that and when that is taking place. Additionally, another event that will be taking place on October 26th will be the second meeting with BSO in Cooper City, which was hosted by Cooper City the first time. I will attend that meeting on behalf of the City Commission and plan to listen in and attend there as well. Other than that, I would like to take an opportunity to meet a new member to our City of Deerfield Beach team and staff. We have our new executive officer here with us tonight. This is her second day on the job, I believe. And this is our executive officer, Lieutenant Anna Morello Quigley, or is it Quigley Morello?
Morello Quigley.
Morello Quigley, excuse me, I apologize.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager, Mr. Mayor, distinguished commissioners. It's my pleasure to introduce. I'm sorry, this is the illustrious Chief Adam Hofstein. Pleasure. Thank you, everyone who's joining us tonight. But yeah, it's my distinct pleasure. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity to introduce your new Assistant Chief, Lieutenant Anna Morello Quigley. She is a seasoned veteran of the Sheriff's Office and law enforcement. She hails from our Port Everglades district, where she previously served as their very accomplished executive officer, and it's now our pleasure and benefit to gain her as part of our family. So thank you very much for the opportunity to welcome her, and we look forward to a great partnership and continuing to build great things here in our wonderful city of Deerfield Beach.
Excellent, thank you. Welcome, Lieutenant. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, thank you. I don't need a microphone. This is usually my inside voice and it's normally this loud, so I can, I'm sure it'll travel. Can you hear me? Good.
Yes.
I'm humbled to be here. This is definitely different for me. I'm embracing it and I'm very happy to be here. I hope that I am an asset to the team, and I know that Adam and I get along very well together. So I'm sure that he's going to show me the ropes, and I will go ahead and do the best that I can. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very humble as well. And thank you for introducing me, Mrs. Santucci. That was very nice of you.
Welcome, Lieutenant.
Thank you very
Welcome,
much.
Lieutenant.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much. Good night.
City Manager, anything else?
That is it for this evening. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay, we're now at comments by mayor and city commission.
Okay, let's go with District 4.
Thank you, Mayor. I only have 2 items this evening. First is on November 6th, is my next Saturday office hours. If you're interested, just please sign up either with me or through Erica. I mean, I meet every day of the week besides Saturdays, but that's for the opportunity for those that work and don't have the opportunity during the week. So November 6th, office hours from 10 a.m. until noon here at City Hall in person or by Zoom virtually, either one. My second comment relates back to the resident during the public comment portion, who absolutely hit the nail on the head. This past Saturday at the Fall Festival across the street at Pioneer Park was a smashing success. It was extremely well attended, and there were a lot of families and children there that were having a good time. I don't know if it was because of COVID, that everybody was cooped up and wanted to get out, or more likely because I advertised it in my newsletter. That's why everybody was there. But it was a really good time, and staff did a great job considering the number of people that actually attended. It was well organized, well attended. And so I think that's probably a preview of what we can expect for our December holiday events as well, that these are going to be well attended and that we need to be prepared. But I think it was a job well done last weekend, and I want to thank staff and everyone that was involved for putting that on, because it was a really good time. And that's all that I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, District 3.
Tomorrow night is a District 3 meeting. It's a Zoom meeting. You're all welcome to tune in. You can get the link from the website, the city website. We expect a good turnout. Many city officials will be there to answer your questions and help with your problems. Of course, I will be there as well. So we welcome you and hope you will attend. Next, you have to be vigilant. Every citizen. I have 1,000 eyes looking for illegal contractors. I'm at war with them. I've seen the sloppy work that's caused fires. I've seen people take money for jobs and never complete them. The only way you stop it is by not allowing it in your home. Then they come to me and say, but I got a summons. Well, you committed the crime, pay the fine. There's somebody in my district who thumbed his nose at the magistrate. And he was fined $250 a day until he corrects the violations. It's over 2 months. I anticipate the city eventually foreclosing on the home. Wouldn't be the first time. Obey the law. Think of yourself, your family, and your neighbors. Using illegal contractors endangers your life. What's the purpose of permits? The work gets inspected by experts, that it was done correctly within the law and will not cause your home a hazard. Too many people say, but I'm saving $50. Not if your house burns down. Not if your loved ones are killed in the fire. Obey the law. Use licensed contractors. And if they tell you they got a permit, pick up the phone and call our permit department and give them your address, and they'll tell you whether or not there was a permit pulled on your apartment or your home. You have a right to protect yourself, because not doing so can get very, very expensive, and the cost of illness and lives and property damage. Do yourself a favor and do the right thing. That's all I have.
Thank you. District 1. I'll let the vice mayor come in.
Okay, and, I don't know if District 2 is going to, well, first and foremost, I want to thank Commissioner Parnas for supporting agenda item 10. I really do appreciate that. I know you had some challenges with it, but I do appreciate it. Really, really do. So thank you for your open-mindedness. Just a couple of things. On Saturday, we've got the Friends of Arboretum plant sale. That's going to be happening in Constitution Park. We also have the Halloween festivities that are happening Saturday at Leo Robb Gym. I just want to make sure that we do mention those things, because looking forward to it. As Commissioner Drosky said, we had a tremendous turnout this weekend at Pioneer Park, and I'm looking forward to an equally spooky evening on Saturday at the Haunted Arboretum, or the Haunted House. I think that's on the 29th. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vice.
I'm sorry, did you ask a question of me?
No, I said the vice mayor's turn.
Oh, got it.
Thank you, Mayor. First and foremost, I'm going to just ask everyone to just understand the seriousness of this COVID pandemic that we are still involved in, where there is a feeling of just trying to get back to normal. We all want to. Certainly, we are all challenged with that, but this COVID is very, very dangerous. We lost a 30-year employee, 30 years plus employee to the city of Deerfield Beach. I'm asking for prayers for her family, and just an appreciation of a person that committed so many years to the city of Deerfield Beach. And sometimes when these things happen, we just move on. Martha Bennett was a tremendous employee, and she'd been with us a long time, and it's just so sad that we lost her. So please pray for her family as they go through this process of her loss. And then pray for all of the people that she worked with at the focal point. She's certainly going to be missed. As you all know, that we lost Secretary of State Colin Powell to this pandemic as well. The COVID situation is very, very serious. We're still losing people on a daily basis. So I hope everyone will take the time to be extra cautious in this environment. There's going to be a District 2 cleanup. I mentioned it before. There is a date to be named in November. There will be meetings going on to get all the logistics figured out, and then we will name the date in November for that. So that District 2 cleanup is going to happen. On the 13th of this month, there was a grand opening of the beach house at Deerfield Beach. I would like to thank Nora Rupert for her vision and getting this off the ground. But it wasn't just her. It was her vision, but Deerfield Beach High School was involved as well. And the city, partnered as well in helping out. And I'd like to thank all of city staff I'd like to thank the commission. Mayor was there, I was there, the city manager was there. This is a good thing. And when we all work hard together to try to understand some very difficult issues that we have to live with, it's important that we do so. This beach house is an association to mental health awareness. There was a tremendous loss of kids over at the high school. We could have turned our back. Everybody can say, let's move on. But that's not what happened. Now those kids have a place to go. They have someone to talk to. It is just in its elementary stages of development, but it's on its way. And it's certainly at some point, it's going to be something very special. So all those that are involved in that, I would like to thank them, from Nora Rupert to the high school, to the city, to our commission. Thank you so much for helping this to happen, because as I said, children that may be in crisis now have some place to go. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Appreciate that. It was an outstanding event, very touching and very inspirational for what they were able to do there. Thank you for highlighting that. Very quickly, I know the county, there seems to still be some pushback, which is a good thing, of not approving waste management from closing the one facility that they have on their at Mount Trashmore. But I do believe that that's going to become problematic. And if that is not allowed to close, look for them to be pushing back to try to look for a height increase at Mount Trashmore. I think that's going to be an inevitable request. Whether it happens or not, we don't know, but it's certainly something to keep an eye on. Please, let's be vigilant on that. Another thing, the Sun Sentinel had an interesting editorial. I don't think it's something we can do as a city from a city ordinance standpoint. I haven't had a chance to talk to the city attorney about this, but there was a young lady who was killed at Pembroke Pines, and she was murdered by the maintenance worker at an apartment complex who had the access to the master keys. There is no state law in the state of Florida that protects renters from having a maintenance worker at an apartment complex, making it a requirement to have background checks. I do know that that's being proposed. There is a state senator from Orlando, Senator Linda Stewart, who's bringing that forward for consideration. But I don't know from a city level if we're able to do that and have it be effective. But it is something that we should consider. An ounce of precaution. And in this particular incident, this gentleman, even if he had a background check, did not have a criminal background. But he not only took his own life, but he killed this woman, 19 years old, in Pembroke Pines. And let's hope that maybe some common sense approach to taking an ounce of precaution comes forward. And if we can't do it locally, let's see if we can support it on the state level to do that. I don't want to put something in place that we can't enforce. Certainly, if it can be looked into, that would be fantastic. I'd like everyone to please be safe for Halloween. There's going to be trick-or-treaters all throughout the city. We're a very popular location where people actually bring them in from outside of the city to come to our neighborhoods because we do such a good job with them. Please be safe out there and look out for the little ones. And I believe that is all I have. I see your hand back up, Commissioner Grosky. Do you have another comment?
I will wait till next meeting. Thank you.
Okay. All right. At this point,
Motion to adjourn.
we have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.